Hi, I'm Dana Williams, founder of Redeemed Identity Ministries and the host of the Redeemed Identity After Divorce podcast, now a top 10 divorce podcast that also ranks number 2 in Australia. This is the show that helps you re-remember who you are in Christ after divorce, when life feels shaken, your identity feels blurry, and you're wondering what's next. And now you can also watch the podcast and connect with our growing global community at YouTube at Redeemed Identity After Divorce. If you'd like more encouragement, behind the scenes updates, and sneak peeks of upcoming episodes, be sure to sign up for the free newsletter at www.redeemed-identity.com. And don't forget, that hyphen is important. So grab a cup of coffee, take a deep breath, get comfy, and join me inside. I am here with Misty Hughes. She is a certified ICF life and leadership coach, Gallup Strengths champion, Symbis facilitator, and founder of Rhythm of Life Coaching. Known as a dream champion and gratitude guide, with her 20 years of experience in leadership development, coaching, and mentoring, she is the host of Mom to Mom Mentoring podcast and a seasoned speaker and workshop leader. Misty and her husband Craig love to travel. They love to bike through the vineyards, snorkeling in Puerto Rico. I'm so jealous. And sipping espresso in Tuscany. I'm still jealous. Grammy to 6 and mentor to many. She equips women to overcome the overwhelm, align their lives with what truly matters, and step boldly into their God-given identity so that they can truly shine from the inside out. Because she firmly believes that when you shine, you give others permission to shine too. Love that. She understands the need for young women in the faith to have someone in their lives that they can emulate, look to, and welcome and encourage them. So, Misty, welcome to the show. I'm talking about different kinds of strategies to help those of us walking through a divorce or even healing from the divorce. And I've talked about the importance of prayer, fasting, which I know a lot of people don't like to talk about, and worship. And I just did that show this last Tuesday. And there's strategies that help us heal and rebuild. So, and you recently talked about the importance of rest it was on your New Year's Day episode. It was the importance of rest. So what do you define rest? Because I know a lot of people might have different definitions of that.
Yeah. I define rest as something that energizes you, something that fills your cup. I recently read, and I think this is a great analogy. We are expending energy all the time. We're expending emotional energy. We're expending physical energy. We're expending spiritual energy. We have these there's like 7 areas of rest that people talk about. And so we are constantly tapping into our energy bank account and withdrawing, right? And so rest can be anything that puts back into that energy account.
So it doesn't have to be a nap. Some people find rest with running, or I can't relate to that.
Yes.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah. And so right, exactly. So we wonder, after, binging on Netflix, where we've just let our brain go, why do we not feel replenished? Why do we not feel rested? Why do I still feel drained? And it's because we're not putting back into that energy account. Here's an example. So this past weekend, I got on this organizing kick. And I am, for those listeners who have read to your children, grandchildren, if you give a moose a muffin, if you give a mouse a cookie, if you give a pig a pancake, those stories, they're all about I start this. Oh, it makes me think of this. Oh, I go there and do that. Oh, it makes me think of this. Oh, so I've got all these little organizational projects going on around the house. Oh, there's that drawer. I open the drawer. Oh, closet. I rearranged our closet and dresser and all this stuff. So I'm so fun. And after I'm done, I'm like, look at that drawer. It feels so good. That filled my soul. It energized me. It gave me space to move into the next, I purged clothes. I did things like that. That was a form of rest for me. It rejuvenated my soul in an area, I needed more mental space. And so it was giving me more mental space. And so rest can look a variety of different ways, but I think thinking about it like what feeds me, what energizes me, what's going to help me keep my head up and be buoyant and bounce back better. Yeah.
I love that. And I love that you said that you talked about organizing being your rest. That's kind of like I was. I mean, through the holidays, I didn't, had a couple shows that I just didn't do. And I tore apart closets and I tore apart, all the things. And afterwards I was wiped out, but I was like, I just feel so good. So yeah,
Yes.
rest doesn't have to be a nap.
No,
Although that's important,
no.
but it doesn't have to be a nap. For me, it's
Yes.
journaling. I journal and that fills me up. And I know you do too. We're journaling sisters. And, just spending time with the Lord and Netflix has been a coping. I wouldn't call that a rest. I'd call that a coping mechanism. So I'm fasting that throughout January and I'm finding it's replenishing my soul. Not doing it is replenishing my soul. Because instead I read. I'm reading discipleship books. I'm going back to some fiction. So I'm replenishing myself and I'm pleasantly surprised that Netflix won't be an idol anymore. So why did you find rest so important? And I think you've kind of explained that. How did you accomplish this as a single parent when you weren't married how did you do that?
Yeah. So I had the privilege of homeschooling my kids. And so part of our homeschool journey was to, we read the word together. We studied history. We started with the history of Israel and then looked at the different civilizations. And so in studying the history of Israel, we're looking at the different rhythms that God established for his people. And so one of those rhythms is the Sabbath. And so early on in my journey as a single mom, we are looking at the Sabbath. We are trying to figure out what does it look like to incorporate the Sabbath into our lives and incorporate some of these other rhythms that God gave his people to help them function well into life, celebrations, right? That's an important thing that God gave his people and asked them to do. And so really, we as a family incorporated a rhythm of Sabbath into our weekly life. And it had to look different at different seasons. I mean, I had a son that was in soccer. So, soccer tournaments, soccer travel is all on the weekend. And so it might look different at different seasons of life, but there was always this underlying theme and this, I guess, core value that we always were able to come back to. And then also, Dana, just part of my saving grace in my journey after I became a single mom was, I guess, the Lord's invitation to me to understand who he is as my husband.
Yes.
And so I'm kind of like, well, I don't know what that means, Lord. You're going to have to teach me. I'm kind of feisty about things like that. And so in that journey, I knew that the word was really the only place to go to. And so I spent probably 4 years of my life journaling through the book of Song of Solomon. And so you talk about rest. So those were replenishing my soul, right? So spending that time with the Lord in the word was rest for not just my spiritual, but my emotional and my mental well-being. And then on top of that, so I'm telling you, my kids, like I said, they would go, at least the younger ones would go be with their dad every other weekend. So I had an automatic opportunity to stop. And so on those weekends, the first thing I did when I'd get back home after dropping them off, because we'd always have to meet, I'd drive home, usually crying. I'd clean up my house, I'd close my drapes, make everything dark, and I would get in the bathtub and take a hot bubble bath and have candles and quiet, and I would just cry. I would just release.
Yes.
everything. And so that release was a form of rest for me. And so yeah, so there were I just feel like it was God's leadership that helped me establish those patterns for my own personal well-being, for my children, for our home, for our family. So it's always kind of just been there and been
Yes.
important and been a value.
And I've always found too, for rest, it helps me regain my focus because I'm very easily distracted by shiny objects everywhere. So you talk about the bubble bath being one of your favorite ways to rest and recharge. Did you have anything else that you could share with our listeners that was a favorite?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I worked in my yard
Okay. Okay.
during and it was my probably physical, you talked about some people run for rest. I dug flower beds in my yard.
Nice.
I would dig, and then I'd go haul rocks and I'd arrange, and I would talk to the Lord in that time, and I would tell the Lord, I want you to bring something beautiful. You say you make beauty from ashes. I'm digging with you. I'm partnering with you. Bring something beautiful out of this season. And so I would just dig, and I would bleed, and I would sweat, and I would cry and do all those things. So that's something I did. And then I was really intentional about making sure I had fun, at least
Very
on
good.
occasion.
Yes, that's important.
Yes, it is important. And I had fun kids. So we had fun together. And I had one friend that was a single mom with two kids the same age as my two girls. We would often do fun things together. It was important to have fun. One more thing that we did that was really key. If your people, I guess, even if they don't have young kids, that they're still at home, but it was very important that we got away at least twice a year.
That's good if you can. Something.
Yeah, and here's the deal. We couldn't. Like, I didn't have the money. We couldn't. But I feel like if you invite the Lord into that, if you just say, Lord, I think this would be good for my family. I think it would be good for me. It may not be this year. It may be like, okay, wait, what will that look like next year?
Mhm.
And I will camp. And so we went camping sometimes, We had friends that lived in other places.
Mhm.
And so sometimes it was going to visit friends in other places. I had an aunt that lived in Tennessee. We would go visit her, but it got us out of our normal routine, our normal headspace, the normalcy of life, and it just kind of gave us breathing room as a
I like that.
family.
That's good.
And it was I think when I look back, I go, those were monumental moments. And it gave us an opportunity to make memories together,
Exactly.
new memories
Mhm.
that now we look back on. And now we go, oh, remember when?
Hmm.
Because we were establishing who we were as a family now.
Very good. Oh, that
So,
is really good. Very good. So music is big for me. It's just a big deal for me because I'm a singer and I love worship. So what is your go-to music that for you encourages you to rest in the Lord? Don't tell me heavy metal.
no, no, I
I
had
didn't think so.
two teenage
Oh,
boys that listened
oh
to
my gosh.
screamo music,
Oh my
and
goodness.
I would be like, "Turn that music off. It
Yeah.
makes me angry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Me too.
scream back." So, no, not heavy metal.
Mhm.
I like right now, I would say, like, when I'm working and things, I love silence
Oh,
because there's
I knew we were silent
always
sisters.
yes, there's always noise going
Mhm.
on.
Mhm.
I really love
Mhm.
quiet and silence. If I have a song with words on and I'm trying to do something else, it's too
Yeah.
much. So,
Mhm.
if I'm doing something else that have words, so just contemplative, quiet, guitar music, piano music, just whatever. I'm not real picky. I don't remember what the name of songs are. Back in my, back going through the divorce and everything. I mean, worship music was on
Yep.
nonstop. It
Because it helps
fed
change the
me
atmosphere. Yes.
all the time.
Mhm.
And I would just lay on the floor and let the truth of the songs wash over me. They would be my declaration when I didn't know what to pray or say. The songs could say it for me. I could agree with that. So those, yes, so key.
Very.
So important.
That's good. But I also love that you're a silence sister because I find my nervous system kind of goes when there's silence. My new favorite thing now that I'm not Netflixing myself to death is I put on YouTube, they have ambiance. And so I go in there and I look for, cozy cabin, fireplace ambiance. And I'll have that on there almost like a window because I have a teeny tiny house. So like a window, and sometimes it's snowing, sometimes it's raining. And then I just read in silence. And it's just amazing. I just feel rebuilt. So, do you have a favorite book besides the Bible? That's not fair. That would be cheating. That helped you rebuild and heal after your divorce.
Let me think. Well, because I was spending time in the Song of Solomon, a lot of the books that I read were like Watchman Nee has a book on the Song of Solomon. Madame
Oh, does he?
Guyon has
I
a
love
yeah,
Watchmen.
yes, has a book on the Song of Solomon, and probably those two are my most marked up books from that season of life because they just help me, I guess, understand the language a little bit better. And they also helped affirm what I was experiencing in the word, what God was saying to me, how he was interacting with me through the word and stuff. So they were confirming and yet helped open me up to more of who Jesus is.
Tell us about rhythm. I know you've been so gracious with your time. So tell us about rhythms of renewal. I want to hear about that. Tell us what it is. How can people sign up for your next session? Because it sounds amazing.
Yeah, thank you. So, Rhythms of Renewal is just a 4-week group coaching cohort. And we are talking about 4 rhythms that, we're looking at them not in depth. You can't go in depth, in just one conversation. But we're just kind of opening up and exploring how we're living out these rhythms and what might be one simple thing that God might be inviting us into to establish this rhythm in our life that will help keep us renewed or help bring renewal. It's just a 4-week group coaching cohort, and I'll probably start my next one in May, but before that, I also do free virtual encounters. Those are really great places to hop in and hop on and to kind of experience what might happen in the group coaching cohort too. So, yeah.
I love that. So where can people find? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say, and you asked where to find me. And so,
Yeah, where to find you and your website.
okay. So I will say I'm going through a brand evolution. And so, but right now, the best way to track with me is to go to Mom to Mom Mentoring. And that is my podcast. I have a Facebook group by the same name. So you can find me on Facebook, join the group. And if you're in that ecosystem, you're going to hear when everything is opening up and available to jump in, jump on, to participate in. So,
Perfect. Wonderful, wonderful. Misty, you've been so gracious with your time. I know we've juggled a little bit to get us to, because this was so important to both of us. Would you mind praying us out?
I would love to. Thank you for asking. Okay, so Father, thank you for your love and your leadership in our lives. You are a God who is watching and waiting. You are a God who is full of plans and purpose for each and every one of us. It says that in your word. And you know the plans. You are a God who continually invites us to learn what it means and looks like and feels like to lean on you and not our own understanding. And God, you are a God who loves to show up as the one who is trustworthy.
Yes, Lord.
You don't ask us to muscle our way into trust. You are kind, you are considerate, you are compassionate. And so we come to you at the end of our time together and we ask you, we welcome you, we bless you to be all of this and more for every person that is listening to this podcast. Make your name known now and for always. May the light of your countenance shine upon each and every listener, and may you bring them peace and prosperity.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me today. If today's episode encouraged you, hit that follow button and drop a quick review. It really helps more people find the show and find hope after divorce. And you can grab my free ebook and join the newsletter at www.redeemed-identity.com. Don't forget that hyphen, it's important. My friend, your story isn't over. It's just being redeemed.